both times.
Man, you guys are on it. You're ready to go.
We're just sitting here talking NBA, golf, football, everything. We're chilling.
I'm all about that golf stuff, guys. All right, I've got Coach here, and then I'll have the girls for you after he's done.
Awesome.
Dumb and stuff. I shouldn't be saying that on Zoom, though. You guys didn't hear me, did you?
No.
Good.
Coach, how are you doing today?
You know, if it got any better, I couldn't stand it, guys.
My favorite saying like that is, if it was any better, I'd be you. So
There you go. There you go.
Well, hey, I wanted to ask you about, something that's like really visibly different this season from last season is the bench you guys have, how spread out it is. Coach, I want to know, how did substitutions on your team work last year? Is it 100% your call where you say, hey, I don't know, Lexi, I need you to get in the game? Or how did that kind of chain of communication go in terms of substitutions?
Well, we talk going into the game on that, and Coach Annan is on my left side, and we'll kind of have a plan of going how we want to sub. This will be the first post off the bench. This will be the first guard off the bench. If this guard comes from this guard, here's a switch up and all of that. And, so we got kind of a plan and a minute mark that we want to change some people on and give rest. Sometimes fouls or how you play dictates different, but we have a system that we are going to go with if everything stays normal on it. But it's different on the bench now because, you just can't go here and what go in, and what makes it tough, especially for a young team, is when they come off the floor, you can't have them sitting right beside you and coach them. And that's the thing that we miss more. Sometimes you come out of the game to get a rest. Sometimes you come out of the game because something needs to be corrected. It's difficult correcting a player when they're sitting 30 feet away from you.
No doubt. I'm wondering, like you said, it's hard to go walk basically, in the student section and go talk to a player. Have you thought about maybe having an open chair to your right or to your left? I know that's where you said Coach Annan sits, to maybe get like a coach up chair or.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we could even do that with the 6 foot difference that we're supposed to have. So what I've been trying to do, guys, is I grab them when they're coming out of the game. I don't know if you've seen me do that I'll grab them and stop them. And, hey, here's what you did well. Here's what you need to correct, just giving you a rest, or here's the mistake that you made and we got to get corrected. So before we set them down, we got to coach them up a little bit as they're coming off the floor.
And other than, obviously following Big 12 protocol, are there any advantages to having a 6 foot bench space?
I can't see one. I mean, I can't see one, especially when we're very young at the guard position. We would like to have them close to us so we could coach them, during practice, but then coach them on the bench and tell them what they need to do and tell them what they're doing right. But, guys, nothing about this is normal right now, so we've got to adjust.
Thanks, Coach. I got a couple more for you, but I'll circle back.
Sure.
Okay, I guess I'll just ask a couple quick questions in between here. I'm writing a little bit of a feature on Lexi Keys. Just she's a freshman, and I looked, and she kind of has a little interesting past of being a bit of a two-sport athlete. So first, Coach, I'll just ask you, do you kind of care that coach about kids having played like 2 sports in high school? Or she was a huge softball player. Does that matter to you when you're kind of recruiting at all, or do you see any advantages to getting kids that are 2-sport athletes?
I think it's a huge advantage. And if you could play 3 sports, play 3 sports. It teaches you to work hard, you're playing year round, you're being a teammate year round, you're being coached year round. And, my son that played baseball here, he played 3 sports for a long time, and then he cut it down to football and baseball. But, I know Coach Gundy likes recruiting a lot of players that play 2 sports. And, I like that. I like it when kids are involved and supporting their school and trying to make all the teams as much as possible. I think it makes you a better teammate when you play multiple sports.
How sad does it kind of make you, I guess, like the shift nowadays, it's become kind of standardized to almost put a kid in like one sport that they're supposed to specialize in from such an early age? Does that make you kind of sad that, kids are being driven in that direction?
I don't like it at all. I don't like any part of it. I know there's been coaches say, hey, you choose between volleyball and basketball. It's sad that people would do that to kids that are capable of enjoying and playing more than one sport and helping more than one team out. Even here in Stillwater High School, it's a 6A school, but there's not enough athletes spread around that kids shouldn't be playing 2 sports. And I know sometimes you get them late, but I think it's a shame when coaches say, "Oh, you need to play our sport only," or "You don't need to play." I think that's wrong.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll ask you is, I guess, could you just kind of describe what Lexi is like as a person, off the court a little bit? Could you just talk about what she's kind of like, as a person?
She's fun to be around. She's always got a smile on her face. She's positive. She's a great teammate. We just got her grades. She's a 4.0 student. She may be too smart to play for me, As a joke, I'm glad you got it. The rest of the guys didn't get it there, okay? So I think she's a really good player for a freshman, but she's an even better person. And her teammates love her. She comes to work every day, is serious about the game. And we're glad we got her late, and we're glad that we did, because she's been a nice addition to this team on and off the floor.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit of her backstory. A cool kind of story how she got here. Well, I missed the last couple games, Coach, so it's good to talk to you and get back in the
Here's the other thing on Lexi Keys, what I really like about her is she laughs at my jokes every day, every single day. Now, she's smart enough, even if they aren't funny, she laughs at my jokes every day. You can ask her about that when you get her on, okay?
I certainly will. That's great. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Who's next? We good?
Coach, I'll hit you back with some questions about a story I've been wanting to write for a long time. So I apologize. It's been like a year and 2 weeks since you guys tripped to the Virgin Islands. Coach, what's a highlight of that trip for you?
I just think there were a couple. I think anytime you have an opportunity to get student athletes an experience that they'll never forget the rest of their life and create memories, I think it's a great experience. And then the opportunity to go play some of the best teams in the country. We went in and played Louisville, or we played Oregon first. And at the time, Oregon was ranked number 1 in the country, had Sabrina and 3 first-round draft picks. So the opportunity to go in and play great competition. And then we played Louisville after that, who went on to beat Oregon in the same tournament. So I guess the two answers are the opportunity to create lifetime memories for kids and play a high level of competition.
Coach, you did my research for me, because like I said, I wanted to ask you a little bit about that Oregon game with those 3 first-round draft picks, including obviously number 1 and number 2 overall. When I bring up like specifically that Oregon game, what kind of thoughts are coming back into your mind?
Well, we got whipped good in the first quarter, and then we outscored them after that. The final 3 quarters, we grew up a little bit, but they came out and punched us in the mouth early. And it's hard to simulate Sabrina and Ruthie Hebert, you know, and what was the big kid, the 3? Tatu Sabali. Yeah. You know, it's hard to simulate those with your practice players, or even then we had the scout guys, but they ran the best pick and roll game maybe in the history of women's basketball. You know, I'm not saying the best team, but the best pick and roll game. And Sabrina may be the one that she is the one that initiates all that. So, you know, for kids to see that, it takes a little time to adjust, but great experience for those 2 reasons: competition and lifetime memories.
Was there any moment, you know, maybe it was watching that pick and roll game, where you kind of sat back and said, whoa, like this is special?
Yeah, it was special when I was watching film on them before. I knew how good it was, but you know, watching her play, Sabrina play, she isn't a tremendous athlete, but I don't know of many people that have the basketball IQ, feel for the game, understand the situation, understand passing lanes, when to throw it to somebody else, timing. You know, those are things that the great ones have. There's a lot of athletes, but people that play with that mindset and that basketball IQ are fun to watch.
And my last question for you is, as you're going into this game, obviously, you know, Oregon's ranked number 1 in the nation. So your girls, they know Oregon's good. Did you kind of like maybe avoid the topic of how many first round caliber players they had, or how good they are according to these rankings? Or was that something you kind of challenged them with?
I mean, I didn't know how many at the time, how many. I knew they had 3 first rounds, but I didn't say that to our kids. But I'm honest with our team. I tell them how good people are. We're playing West Virginia in here tomorrow night, and I'm telling our kids it's the best team we played all year. You know, it's not even close. It's 3 high-level guards, 2 4 players that are relentless on the board. So I tell our kids the truth on things, and you better be able to accept the truth in this league, because if you can't, it's going to be hard road to hoe.
No doubt. And one quick follow-up: did you, after that Oregon game, did you kind of have a feel Sabrina was going to go number 1?
Yeah, I had a feel before it too. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, so kind of talking a little bit more about the West Virginia game. Last year, 2 really competitive games that were really, you could say, went right down to the wire. What can you kind of talk to some of these younger players about that can get them ready for a game like this?
Well, you know, they lost Tynese Martin, but I think they've probably been better without her. Their chemistry, how solid they are. They've got 3 guards that played a ton last year, and they're starting 2 4s right now instead of 2 5s, and they're really good on the side ball screen action. They're really good on the offensive boards. I mean, they just attack the glass. We've talked about your defensive possession isn't over until you block them out and keep them off the boards, and that's probably the thing that worries me the most. And they run a lot of action where you've got to be sound with your backside help. They screen, we hedge out who's going to help on it right there, and got to be very assignment conscious against this West Virginia group. But you know, we told our team today it's a group we beat twice last year, and they got some of the same players, but they're better. all their players are better, a year older and experienced.
My last thing is I saw that West Virginia was the only conference team to win in the Big 12 SEC challenge. What does that say about West Virginia, and is that something that will be utilized a lot in just watching the film from them?
Well, we watched numerous games on them, but they beat Tennessee, and Tennessee is a quality ball club. But West Virginia has been coached by Mike Carey for probably 20 years, and it's just a real tough-minded team. He coaches them tough. It's hard love every day in practice, and those kids are coached up and they're hard-nosed, and they're going to fight you. I mean, it's a hard hat mentality, and I told our kids that you better become ready to fight, because if you don't, they're the ones that will take your lunch, throw you down, and kick sand in your face if you're not ready to play against them. Should I say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hey, by the way, you guys, I trust all of you. If I say something stupid, don't put it down, okay?
Coach, so I just had a couple questions. I was going to start working on a story, or a combination of stories, I should say, of just kind of the freshman impact on this team. So first off, could you kind of just tell me about Lexi Keys and what her impact has been for this squad so far?
Where are you at, man, with those jerseys?
This is
Those
mine.
all yours?
Yes.
Who else you got?
So we have Dak right there.
Okay.
And then we have Aikman right there.
Holy cow. You need to buy my Barry Sanders.
All right.
With the Lions. We'll work on that, all right?
Okay, maybe work out a little trade or something.
That's impressive, man. That's
Thank
impressive.
you.
Sorry, go ahead and ask me again.
No, okay. I was just asking you how I was going to do a story over the freshman impact on this team. So first off, kind of could you just talk about Lexi Keys and what her impact has been for the squad so far this year?
Well, I mean, it's a young lady that's in a learning process right now. But again, she's thrown into playing right now. There's no choice for me. You look at our lineup, and we've got one junior guard, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores. And she's playing right now because she works really hard. She's very heady, and she's won where she came from. Her high school program was an elite program here in Oklahoma, and she's a winner. She's a winner on and off the floor. She knows how to play the game. She played for Larry Callison in high school, who's a excellent high school coach. So she's been coached for a long time, and she's just got a pretty good feel for the game.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to kind of shift over. Same question, but except for Taylon Collins.
Taylon Collins is same type of person. In fact, those two kids run around together all the time. They're best friends. Tay is an elite athlete. I don't know if I've ever coached a better freshman athlete. I'm not saying player, athlete, but she's long. She can defend. Her dad and high school coach have done a really good job of coaching her. She is right now for us kind of a defensive specialist, but continues to get better offensively. She's put a lot of time in working to get better at the free throw line. But those are two players that have started for us, and I've been very pleased with their progress.
Yes, sir. So kind of looking at her minutes so far. So she got 29 minutes in the Tulsa game, but then switching over to OU, she almost played the whole game and played 38 minutes. Kind of what was there a certain reason that you played her almost the entirety of the game?
Gabby Gregory, her matchup. You know, we felt like Tay guarding her would give us the best opportunity to win. So And she did a nice job on it. She got 14, got some points late, but she did an incredible job guarding her. But it was a big plus when she added 12 points, 8 rebounds on her own.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else for Coach? I've got Jamie ready to go.
I think we're good. We'll talk to you after the game, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Think about that Barry Sanders jersey.
Okay, I will.
All right, man. See you. Hey. That's smart. For 10.
Edison education.
Too bad I didn't go to Edison. Too bad I didn't go to Edison.
That's a higher academic school, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. They didn't accept me.
Jamie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I wanted to ask you a question that stumped Coach Littell. Is there any benefit to having a bench, besides following Big 12 protocol? Is there any benefit to having a bench that's like socially distanced the way it is?
Nah, not really. It kind of keeps us far apart, and some people might wander off because they're separated from everybody and they're not as locked in as if last year when everybody was sitting together.
Is that the biggest, I guess, challenge you face with the bench, is that people might not, stay mentally kind of focused as they were last season?
Yeah, it's definitely. And then with the countdown, with the shot clock, you can't hear the bench because they're so far away from everyone, especially if you're on the other end of the court,
Where's your? I know you play quite a few minutes a game, but when you do go to the bench, do you have like a specific chair?
Yes, you do have a specific chair. Your number is on, or your last name's on it.
Where's your chair at?
On home games, I'm like the second row in the middle, so you kind of see me still. Like I'm like the coach's bench right here. I'm like straight down right there.
And do you have the same kind of thing for road games, where you have like your chair?
It depends on how they do it. At OU, we had to share chairs, so whoever came and got you sat in their seat. So I really don't know how that worked out.
Is there like a best spot? Would you rather be like under the roof there? You kind of have a roof, or would you rather be like where the student section used to be? Is there kind of a chair you want?
I kind of like being by the student section. When if you sit on the roof, I feel like I'm in timeout and the coaches are watching me the whole time.
Gives you a little bit of a different view, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I also wanted to ask you something that's been on my mind like a while about the team is like it was like a year and 2 weeks ago. You guys went over to the Virgin Islands, and I wanted to ask you, what was your like favorite part about that trip?
The breakfast. I'm a breakfast person, so when the breakfast is great, I'm good. The view was beautiful too, I would say.
Did the breakfast you had in the Virgin Islands beat my 2 eggs over easy today?
Yeah, for sure.
What was your favorite meal you had over there?
I don't know. The fruit was really good. I don't even eat fruit like that, but the fruit, I definitely always went to the fruit first.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good selection over there. And one thing about that Virgin Islands trip was Coach Attell said, you played some of like the top teams in the whole nation, including number 1 in the nation at the time, Oregon. What was kind of your mindset going into that game against, the number 1 team in the nation?
My mindset was fear nobody. I'm not scared of anybody. Nobody scares me. You put your jersey on just like I do. So yeah, we're playing the number 1 team, but they also have to play us too. That's how I look at it.
No doubt. Was that, did everyone on the team have that kind of mindset? Was that something you kind of had to help other players get? Because, at least, for a guy like me, like I can imagine being, I guess, kind of thinking a little bit extra about like, oh, this team has, 3 top 10 picks or whatever it was.
Some people have different mindsets than others. Some people agree with me. Some people overthought the game. So it's just really type of person you are.
Are there any like specific things you remember? Maybe I don't know. Is it kind of cool to, I guess, have played against like the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA? Is that kind of something you think back on?
Yeah, I do all the time. I think it was a good experience for us. And it's kind of bragging rights. Like, yeah, we played the number one team. You know, we didn't shy away from the competition.
And beat them for 3 quarters, right? Did you watch any of I know they had like the number 1 overall player, Ionescu, the number 2. Did you watch any of those WNBA games and kind of like see yourself out there? Just like you put your jersey on the same way as they do.
Yeah.
And was that the best college basketball team, or actually was that the best basketball team you've ever played against?
Nah, I would definitely say Louisville was a harder because Sabrina was a wing player, so I was guarding the point guard. But with Louisville, I had to guard the point guard, and she was, if not the top point guard, then she was top 3. So
Sure.
she was bigger than me and more experienced than me. So I felt like she helped me throughout the season, guarding the other point guards who are not experienced as she was.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thank you. Hey, Jamie, I just have a couple quick questions for you. I'm writing a little bit of a feature on Lexi Keys, and I'm not sure how much you know, but she actually played like a lot of softball too growing up in high school, and she was really a true like 2-sport athlete. So I'm curious just about you. Were you a 2-sport athlete in high school? What did your high school athletics career look like?
I was actually not allowed to play a second sport.
Really? Was that like your coach or you or your parents? Who made that decision?
I always wanted to do track, and he always said no.
Your dad?
Yeah.
What made track so appealing? You're pretty quick, so.
Well, track is after basketball season. So, I mean, I'm not in season. Why can't I play? But you played a factor. But I would say my freshman year, I didn't want to do this. I was forced, but I had to do cross country. And I almost went to state too. And I purposely let someone get in front of me so I didn't go to state.
No way. Really? You just hate. Oh, my alarm's going off. Hang on. That's a little unfortunate. Kind of ruined a good story. So wait, that's great. So cross country just wasn't your thing. That's just.
I am not a long distance runner at all. I don't even know why I even had to do that.
Okay. But you were still pretty good at it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I was pretty good. I didn't know I was that good, but once I knew I was one person shy of going to state, I let one girl get in front of me.
Do you think she knew? Do you think she could tell you were slowing down, or did you disguise it well?
I think I hid it pretty well. So.
Well, that's great. I'm good to hear that. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hey, Jamie. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what West Virginia is going to bring tomorrow. And you've made some pretty big shots against West Virginia in the past. What has that kind of been like in the past?
It's a good feeling, but I feel like now they're going to key in on me because this is year 3, and I've been playing against me and the point guard we're in the same grade. So she knows how I play. I know how she plays. I feel like they're going to be more locked in on me because the past 2 times at their home, we had to hit a big shot to beat them. So I think they're going to be more locked in on me and make sure I really don't do that again, I guess.
Would you say that battle between you and that point guard has kind of become more of a one-on-one sort of battle thing? Just because
sometimes I do feel like that. I definitely feel like me and her has been at it since our freshman year. I kind of just I play my role, so I just do what I do best, I guess.
Is there any smack talk that you and her kind of exchange during those games?
Not at all, actually. Even if somebody's talking, I don't talk back because I'm just show you on the court. But I just laugh at people like that. I believe in karma, and I feel like if I say something bad, karma's gonna get me. So karma's not on my side right now. So she's always against me.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Jamie, so a little bit, I'm doing a story kind of about the freshman impact on this team. So kind of could you go into depth about each of Lexi Keys and Taylor Collins and kind of what they're bringing to this team since you've been a member of this program for a while now?
I would say that Taylor has definitely helped us out a lot on defense. Um, she can block shots really good. She has been actually been guarding the best players on the other teams, which has been really good for her. You know, as a freshman, you know, you take on that challenge, and she has, and she's accepted it. And I think she's done really well. On the offensive side, you know, when she comes in at the four, it helps us out a lot because a four is not used to guarding a guard. So she helps us a lot on that, and she makes smarter passes than, you know, a four that's like been playing a big the whole life, except for a guard and looking at the guard perspective. Lexi has helped us spread the floor with her being the shooter, which opens the lanes for us drivers like me and Lauren. So with people keying in on her, opens up a lot for us.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Ryan, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
All right.
I appreciate your time, Jamie.
Thank you.
Hey, take the rest of the day off.
I am.
7th best player in the history of Edison.
Lexi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I know we got a lot of questions for you, so I wanted to ask a couple of them. You know, a question that's kind of like stumped Coach Attell and also Jamie. So maybe you can break the streak here. Is there any positive at all you can think of to having a bench that's like 6 feet away, socially distanced, the way it is?
No, I don't like it really.
Really? Does it just feel weird?
Yeah. Well, you already have to create so much energy in the gym for like your team already, and it's like it's hard whenever you're that far away from your teammates already. So I don't know. I don't really like it.
What's the biggest challenge? Because I know Jamie kind of said like it's harder to hear when your teammates count down the shot clock to kind of help you out on the court. You know, is that one thing that you kind of find? What are some challenges with it?
Really, it's just your team or your bench helps you communicate on defense, especially. They echo the coach the whole time, really. So like really, like Jamie said, it's hard to hear them from when they're that, like they're almost in the stands. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just hard to hear anything really when you're that far away from everyone.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know Coach Attell was saying that Coach Annan helps him out a lot with substitutions. What does that process kind of look like from your end when you're sitting, you know, on the bench there? Does somebody call your name? Is it harder to maybe like hear to get in the game, or is that, you know, a problem?
Sometimes I sit closer to the coaches, so it's not as hard for me. But like, there's some that sit on the baseline, and I know that like when one coach says it, it just echoes down the whole bench. Like everyone starts yelling the name. So.
And kind of like switching topics a little bit. You know, as a freshman, it's your first time in the Big 12. You know, except for one game behind you, obviously. It might have been OU, but I'm wondering which team in the Big 12 are you most excited to play against this season?
It'd probably be the Bedlam game. I don't really know any. Really, I don't know the culture or the reasonings or the rivalry behind any other team really besides the Bedlam game. So that was a pretty exciting game. It was very tense, but I really enjoyed it.
Right, and coming out of, you know, Sequoia High School, Coach Attell was saying it was a pretty elite program. Who's the best player you played against in high school?
I played Taylor Collins in high school.
That's a pretty good answer. Are the teams at the top of the Big 12, are they at all like intimidating, like Baylor or Texas? You know, when you see those like mock drafts or whatever, I don't know if you look at them, but is that all kind of intimidating? You know, you were in high school, you know, just a few months ago, and now you're going to go against, you know, women going to the WNBA.
I don't think it's as intimidating as it is exciting. Of course, I'm a person that likes challenges, and so I am excited for it. I know it'll make me better and make our team better. Because like they're elite players from top to bottom. Even if they don't start or they don't play that much, they're elite players, and could go start most places. And so I don't think it's as intimidating as it's exciting.
Hey, did you beat Taylor's team?
We never played in like a regular season game, but we scrimmaged them all the time. I don't really know the scores though. We probably didn't.
All right, thanks pretty much. Thank you.
Lexi, so going back to Taylon, kind of both of y'all being freshmen on this team. So kind of what has her impact looked like from your perspective for this team?
Taylon's the most athletic person I've ever met in my life. She's okay. We're like best friends. We hang out all the time. We're always together. So knowing like her work behind the scenes and how much she's grown since she's been here, like I've witnessed it and I've been there with her, whether it's shooting in the gym at night or whatever it is. So really just how hard she works, I think she deserves all of this.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't know until today actually when Coach Littell was talking about how y'all are best friends. I might want to make a story out of that. So like what kind of things do y'all like to do as best friends? What are some of y'all's favorite activities like when y'all are hanging out and whatnot?
We ice cream too much. We go get ice cream like every day. That's a bad thing that we do. But we go out to dinner like twice a week. So yeah, we're always together. Well, she'll just randomly FaceTime me. We don't live together this year, but she'll just randomly FaceTime me, just ask what I'm doing, just random stuff. We live in the same apartment complex, so she could just walk up there, but she doesn't.
So what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Okay, so probably Rocky Road, but I like to try new things. I normally try something new on a menu, like every time I go to a place. I don't really order the same thing.
Where do y'all go?
We'll try a new place every time. We never go to the same place unless we have to. It's like we've been to, I guess, is it the Marble Slab? Whatever it is down here. We've been to that. We've been to Brahms or Orange Leaf, maybe. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think is that Froyo?
We've been there. Yeah, we've been pretty much everywhere.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna kind of shift back over to talking about yourself, which might be a little hard. What do you think your impact has been so far this season as a freshman coming in playing really well?
Honestly, I think I came in as a shooter. That's really where I was recruited. And I think starting off, we haven't really been starting off games. And like at the OU game, for me to come in and make that three at the very beginning, that was kind of something I've been working towards, just starting off better for my team.
No, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, sweet. Hey, so Lexi, I'm doing a little bit of kind of a feature story on you and kind of how you were like a two-sport athlete in high school. I did a little research and you played like a lot of sports in high school. So, but first I want to ask you, Coach Attell said that one of his favorite qualities about you is that you laugh at a lot of his jokes. And I guess not everyone on the team does that. So I'm going to ask you, what percentage of the jokes Coach Littell says warrant a laugh?
Honestly, I think just about everything's funny. So I laugh at pretty much everything. So I think they're all hilarious.
Does he tell dad jokes or is it like a dry sense of humor? What's it like?
It's a little bit of a dry sense of humor, but I get them because I have some people in my family that are like that. So
that's good. And I'll ask you a quick follow up to what Ben was kind of asking. Do you find the leg room on the bench is any better? Is that a positive potentially?
I mean, I guess it's the only positive, but I don't like being that far away from my teammates, and especially, like I said, when we're having to create our own energy in the first place.
Yeah, it just looks super weird. Like, no one's ever done anything like it. So yeah, I certainly understand that. Well, you don't like being able to stretch out? Like, you see like the bench is all like scrunched up. That's not a positive? What?
I mean, that'd probably be the only positive, but I'd rather be close to my teammates.
Gotcha. Sorry, Sam. No, you're good. So, well, first I was going to ask you, Lexi, what sport do you remember playing first? Was it basketball or softball as a kid?
So I started playing softball when I was 4, and I think I started playing basketball like when I was like 5 or 6 maybe. But like I didn't really start loving basketball until like my freshman year. I actually had planned to go to college playing softball and went and traveled like that. I played travel softball until my freshman year and then started playing travel basketball. But I come from a basketball family. Like my dad is a basketball coach. My brothers played football, basketball. Like I come from a sports family, so like, and it's not just necessarily basketball, but like all my relatives are basketball coaches, so it's kind of just in my blood, I guess.
Yeah, I did a little research and it said, like your dad coached basketball. I saw your mom did play softball, but yeah, you mentioned that your siblings are all playing sports. So I don't know if it was when y'all would like play sports in the backyard or, just watch the sports on TV. Like, what was there a dominant sport in y'all's household or what?
So my parents were kind of torn. My dad only played basketball, so my dad obviously pushed me more towards basketball. But my mom was very softball oriented, like she loved it. But it really just came down to one summer I was playing both, and I think I was home like, not even exaggerating, one weekend of the summer, and it just came down to me having to. I was just so tired. I had to like pick a sport. And it was time. And so they kind of just sat me down, and one was more hurt than the other, obviously, but they respected my decision.
Dang, because yeah, that's obviously a grind. And one of the things I was going to ask you is like, did you feel burnt out? I guess what summer would that have been? Was that like the summer between your junior and senior year? Or?
It was, when I had to pick, it was well, I played throughout high school, but I didn't travel with softball throughout high school. I think I stopped traveling my freshman year, like during the summer for softball. So I did get burnt out, but I think it's because I had a few bad experiences during the summer. But it wasn't like towards my teammates or anything. But I was just traveling so much. I kind of, for sport, you have to sacrifice so much to be who you want to be in sports, and I knew that. In some ways, I feel like I was missing out on like life, but yeah, I kind of burnt out is a pretty good adjective to describe all that.
So do you remember, could you kind of take me in and kind of recall what that conversation was like when you, I guess, sat down with your parents and kind of figured out, hey, I want to move toward basketball? What was that like?
Well, I was kind of scared because I don't like to hurt people or disappoint people in any way. And so, and I was torn. I didn't want to make the wrong decision because I was good in different ways at both. And I could have gone to college and obviously both.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like tiptoeing around like everyone's feelings, and it really wasn't even me. Like I didn't even come out and say I don't want to play this sport. My parents were just like, so what are you leaning towards? And I was like, I don't know. And then I think my dad ended up saying something about basketball, and it just kind of led into me being more excited about it. And so they kind of knew.
Because like as a kid, did you envision yourself playing softball or basketball in college?
I always thought I was going to go and play softball. That was like my dream. Like watching the College World Series, watching people that I knew go to college for softball. That was always my dream until I got older, I guess.
Yeah, because you had, you got like obviously great D1 offers, play here and other places. But what type of offers did you have? Like, what did the playing field look like for college softball prospects?
So I was looking at going to Tulsa to play softball, and I was kind of young to where the recruiting was just started. But like that was the school like I was the most excited about.
Did you always want to go in state? Was that kind of a goal for you?
Yeah. So actually, when I was being recruited for like basketball, even I never wanted to go out of state. I'm a homebody. Like I thought 2 hours was too far, but yeah, I never really wanted to go out of state. And then the more I grew up, the more I had to be okay with that. Like there's not a lot of options in Oklahoma, and so I had to be more open minded about that as I got older.
So you're a homebody. How hard has that been? Going back to that one summer. When you were home for 1 week one weekend out of the year, that's insane. But I can understand. Like, what was that like? Could you kind of describe like what did a week look like for you back then?
Really, it was just a lot of relaxing. Like I'm really close to my brothers, and so it was just us hanging out the whole time. Really, I don't really remember everything we did, but I know it was probably a lot of relaxing.
Yeah, that's good. Do your family, are you all like, it sounds like you traveled a really lot, but, you got to stay with your family, be close to them. Did y'all like go on trips together, or it sounds like, I don't know, how did that all work?
So really, we never really went on family vacations necessarily, but like our basketball tournaments and our softball tournaments and like my brother's sporting events we went to, we kind of made that into like family vacations in a way. Like we did fun stuff when we went to tournaments and stuff like that and traveled. Like we'd go a day earlier to stay a day late or whatever. But we kind of had to make the most of it because my parents sacrificed a lot just to take us around the world just to play.
And are you the youngest or the oldest, or where are you at with your siblings?
I'm the middle. I'm the only girl. I have an older brother that's 21 and a younger brother that's 12.
Okay, so is your younger brother still playing sports?
Yes, he does. He plays more sports than me. He plays football, baseball, basketball, and he runs track and cross country.
Dang. So you think, I don't know if your older brother plays college, but do you think everyone will go D1, or, what do you think?
No, my older brother, he had a chance to go play football in college, but he kind of just was ready to get on with life. And he's in college. He's going to be a coach. But yeah, my little brother, he'll be better than any of us. I hate to say that, but he will. He'll be way better than all of us.
What sport do you think?
I think basketball. I hope it's basketball, obviously, but he's really good at football too, so we'll see.
That's good to hear. Well, so now that you have gotten to choose a sport, and that is basketball is your life now, I'm wondering, we're like 4, 5, 6 games in. How are you liking having one sport, basketball, as your focus now?
I love it. Obviously, it was an adjustment for me coming even from high school to college, just focusing on one sport because I've never had to do that before. Basketball was obviously my priority growing up through high school, but coming in and like only focusing on basketball, the plays, the little details, and the extra practice behind the scenes, that was something that was a big adjustment that I really enjoyed actually.
Okay, and I'll ask 2 questions kind of to fill in some gaps. First off, the article I read, because I was talking with Coach Littell, and he said, hey, it's an advantage when kids play multiple sports. They learn, how to be teammates and stuff, and I think it helps them, when they do choose to play one sport later on. So I read an article, your softball coach said he had you steal a lot of bases. Is that, I don't know how many parallels there are or similarities between softball and basketball. Do you think, being a stud in softball helps in basketball, or, do you think there's any connection there?
I don't know necessarily about like if there's a connection. I know he made me steal because I'm fast, and I think me playing fast in softball helped me play fast in basketball. Just sprinting all the time, sprinting down the court, getting in position faster than my defender. I think that helped a lot.
That works. Any guess at your steal success rate?
I don't know. Hopefully pretty high, I would assume.
Yeah, hey, your coach seemed to like it. Okay, the last thing I'll ask you is, where was kind of the most fun spot that y'all took as a family, like not vacation, but as a tournament, maybe a tack-on day? Do you have a special memory of that back when you're in your high school days traveling so much?
So actually, my favorite place to go in high school, it wasn't even for basketball. It was for softball, and it was with my high school. We went to Colorado every year and played, and I loved that trip. I love Colorado, so we made that into a vacation kind of with our family.
Awesome, that's cool. Oh, I guess last thing we'll ask you, are you allowed to play intramurals at all? Would you ever consider hopping on an intramural softball field, or are your softball days done?
I like to watch softball. Okay. I mean, I don't think I'll play softball again, but I enjoy watching it.
Okay, that's good. Well, I know I took a lot of questions, and I know probably Jacob probably has some too, but I appreciate your time, Lexi. Thank you.
You guys have anything else for her before I let her go?
I think we're good.
Oh, you're good, Jacob? All right, sweet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.